Well, kind of the same as what we did with the other place. We are going to do a progress video every day we're working in here, kind of showing how we build a rescue. So here is building a rescue again, part 1. So I did go to the store and get some of the essentials. Water. I got a broom because the floor needs to be swept pretty bad. We also got some disinfectant, some toilet cleaner, and this because the bathroom isn't in the best shape, along with some garbage bags and some tape. Now this tape is what we're gonna use to actually mark the floor, kind of get an idea where things are gonna fit, because I don't wanna just start building things without knowing what's going on. So we take some tape, we measure things out just to get an idea where we can fit things in here, and then at least we have a better idea how things are gonna work in here. And most importantly, Red Bull. And I'm actually not too disgusted by the bathroom. It's actually not that bad. It just needs a bit of a cleaning, and there's some things here we gotta rip off the wall. But overall, the bathroom is not terrible, but there's, we get rid of that grungy stuff and get some new stuff and clean that toilet up and clean the sink, and we're good to go. The one thing I should have got was a garbage can, because again, the garbage can doesn't work. So the first step of measuring is done. This is gonna be kind of like the big sulcata tortoise pen for now. I'm gonna try to stretch it out 4 feet this way, but it is 12 feet by 24 feet by 12 feet. And then the idea is, again, not being open to the public, we can put shelving along here, shelving all along the back and along the sides. So a lot of those brown enclosures we have that like our bearded dragons and the blood pythons, they can actually be built up and go along there, which will save a lot of space. Plus along this side here, will be built up, and we will have 2 levels of tortoise tables, which will be for our Russian tortoises and our Herman's tortoises, to also give them the 12-foot enclosures as well, because there's 4 of them in each one. And because we are low on power on this side, that outlet doesn't even work right there. This gap here will probably be our rat feeder section. So what I'm kind of planning is from like this side will be for the feeders, and then this side here will be for all the reptiles. So we still have, along that whole wall, we have to leave a walkway there because there is a door there. We have another door there. So we have a good section there. We can build stuff as long as we leave a break there. And then that's gonna be our storage for food and whatnot. I also wanna see, obviously not a stairwell, but maybe some sort of one of those step up ladders you can walk up with a platform, because that whole area up there can be utilized for storage for tanks, because they were storing stuff up there before. So we're gonna get up there and see how strong that is for storing like our extra supplies and tanks and things like that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't super stressed right now. One, because of the smaller space and trying to plan out where things are gonna go without taking away the size of their enclosures. But then there's also this issue. So this is the electrical panel. Now the overhead lights up there are controlled by this one. When I turn this on, you can hear a buzzing in here. So that's not the safest thing right away. It kind of looks like an older panel. And this tape here, I'm not sure if this tape is trying to hold this on or trying to hold it off. All the breakers are on, but that outlet doesn't work. This outlet doesn't work. That outlet doesn't work. That light doesn't work. I have no idea what these switches are for. And only half of this outlet works. Lots of lights, and then we have to have other power on them as well. So we're gonna blow breakers right away in this place. So we have to severely upgrade the electrical in here and figure out why things aren't working, and we're on a really tight budget. And another thing we have to install into this breaker or this panel is a generator plug, because I don't want to get into a situation where the power goes out for X amount of days and it's either too hot or too cold, and then animals start dying. I'm not sure how many people are paying attention to Florida, but I have a lot of reptile people on our page, and we're seeing a lot of posts about a lot of animals dying down, well, maybe not in Florida, but in Texas, wherever they had the cold snap in the States and that, and the storms and the power's out, and reptiles are dying in people's collections because they weren't prepared with generators and it got too cold. One of my favorite things though, is if you look up there, it's a hot water tank, which means we actually have hot water here, which we haven't had for a long time. I find myself having a moment of stress and being overwhelmed because I feel like I just did this. Not even 2 years ago. I I did this. And trying to plan and figure this out again in half the space is terrifying, and I'm stressing the hell out. So I'm gonna take a minute to de-stress and do something else that's kind of important in here. I'm gonna take the butterfly stickers off the wall. Well, the last one's coming off and I feel absolutely no better at all. Bye, butterflies. And here's a complaint for TELUS. I was just on the phone with TELUS for almost 50 minutes because that's a TELUS box right there. They had internet in here yesterday when the guy was working here, but TELUS insists there's no TELUS at this address. That is a TELUS box that was literally being used yesterday for internet, but they're telling me there's no TELUS at this address and they haven't had it hooked up here yet. So shout at TELUS. So I just realized I actually have to make this tortoise pen 14 feet, not 12 feet, because again, I'm gonna put my 2-foot enclosures up there. They're 2 feet by 2 feet. Some of them are 8 feet long, some are 6 feet long, and some are 4 feet long. So if I put those all on there, they're gonna be 2 feet up and then 2 of them stacked on top of each other. I'm gonna get to the corner and I'm gonna run into a situation where I'm not gonna have enough to get my 12 feet here because there's gonna be a 2-foot gap there because they have to butt up against each other. So I'm gonna extend this out to 14 feet, which will give the tortoises, 2 extra feet the whole way, which is nice, but then I'm losing 2 more feet this way. If there's a construction company that wants to donate a day or two of building to help me so I don't lose my mind, get a hold of me. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Well, I do know what I'm doing, but I don't want to do it again. I have to, but I don't want to. But it will go a lot faster and a lot less stressful if I actually had some professionals helping me build stuff. I've never had one of these radiant heaters before, but it works amazing. It is too hot in here right now. All right, well, this is gonna be the end of part 1 because my mind is just mush right now. I've gotten a few things laid out, some enclosures down there I'm trying to figure out right now, but I need to go take a break, go back to the other place, and just try to figure out how we are the biggest we've ever been trying to fit into the smallest space we've ever been into. So, I gotta go back to the drawing board and try to figure some things out here. So, thanks for watching part 1.